Hey Rhodes, how's your Wednesday going?
My Wednesday is pretty good. Yeah, I can't complain. How are you? Is it cooled off there for you yet?
Oh yeah, yesterday was back to normal temperatures. Today, normal temperature. So I am not sweating at this very moment. So I'm pretty happy. Crazy time. I mean, normally we don't get to chat very much on Wednesday, talk about the pivot on Monday, but I think looking back, definitely a pivot day.
Mm-hmm.
Classic. Let me start sharing my screen actually. I don't know how clear this is, but I mean, Monday here,
Yeah.
reversal day on Monday, and then just red all around, but nothing too surprising. We've been in this range since March, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I have this exact same range marked out, and at the moment there is a fib level, kind of a key level rate at about 60. What is it here? 60,500 roughly.
Okay.
And so as long as we stay above that, you can kind of see the bottom of the previous low, something like a double bottom right there. And we can get a bit of a move up. The old Wu-Tang double bottom, as uh, 2 degrees used to call it. I think that's an option for up action. If not, if we break that level, then we're looking at more downside. And that could be as low as 59K, 56K, etc. So maybe one last flush out. But I'm really looking for this kind of double bottoming out here, right around 60,500. So a little bit more down, and I think it's a nice little kind of bounce. And then we can go test that upper level of the range. So
Right. Let me
yeah.
just start putting in some lines. I'm not too big on the lines,
Mm-hmm.
but right here, I mean, look at all these touch
Yeah,
points
exactly,
here,
right.
here, 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 here.
And that's
So
roughly the fib from the big leg up that we did there back in April, right? So
right.
that's from that bottom to that top. That's kind of that fib level. Everything kind of plays in to make that really kind of the pivot level through this range cycle here. So we could bounce it and then crash like we did back in what was that, July, I think. But you just watch that level because it's tested and rejected and et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. You basically want to wait this one out to see how it reacts there, and then act accordingly from there. Kind of a soft pivot is that. Did you watch the documentary at all, or you just kind of pay
No,
to?
I just saw the news.
Yeah, underwhelming news, I guess. In
What's his
the
name again? I'll do a quick search.
um, Peter Todd, uh, Todd, Todd, something Todd.
This guy?
Yeah, yeah, Peter Todd.
What's his
There we
background
go.
here?
So he was like 15 when he first got involved in all of this kind of stuff. I don't know if he was a bit older. I think at the time, kind of Bitcoin rolled out. I think 21, 22. So like there are pieces there that can kind of work. He denies it. He thinks it's kind of ridiculous, and that the community will think it's ridiculous. To me, the only way you get any kind of validation approval is if there's activity on the Satoshi wallet, and if the Satoshi wallet does anything, well, then that A, confirms Satoshi's still alive, and then B, who's made that transaction, et cetera. So, of course, if that happens, then maybe all panic will ensue because, a million Bitcoin that moves and it gets into sell pressure, then there's all kinds of. I mean, a true anarchist in this scenario could try and dump all the coins at a rapid pace and bring down Bitcoin if they wanted. So it's really hard to say exactly. I kind of, the duo of the two guys, I don't think it's as far fetched as, I think it's a fair conclusion. Them saying that they've identified or, kind of come out and said, hey, we've unveiled. Maybe that's a bit strong because they have literally no proof. But there's circumstantial evidence there, I think, is is interesting, and I'll give it to him that him and back. I think between the two of them, I think they could also be kind of in there in cahoots. That was the conclusion I thought was going to happen. So I didn't jump ahead to find out what was going on.
You watched it, right?
I watched it. I watched it as it premiered. It was quite enjoyable. I was doing other things at the same time because it was like almost 2 hours long. But I did check Polymarket in there a bit, and I wanted to see what was coming up. And Other was the one that Other multiple. So then I was kind of anticipating that it was going to be the two of them. I'm surprised they didn't have Peter Todd in there, given the fact that he's got some kind of proximity to the whole timelines, etc. So that seemed like a kind of an obvious name to have in there, to be honest. But the Other multiple to me felt like a pretty nice bet. It was sitting at 40% when we were looking on Monday. So I like that angle. And so it really kind of got the job done. Has it changed now?
Where is the Other? I guess they don't have Other listed on here, but Other multiple.
Yeah, there's not on the chart.
Here it is. Oh, you can't see it, but it released probably like here. Probably, yeah. I mean, right here, 6 p.m., 6:30, 7.
So it steeped up a bit before.
What do you think about these like finance drama movies coming out? Like they did a GameStop one.
Yeah.
They're going to do a Satoshi one, or they did a Satoshi one.
It brings more attention to the space. And I think there's, generally speaking, more positive publicity towards crypto and all of this. And even the ones that aren't necessarily related to crypto, it also highlights, some of the flaws in the financial system. And that, again, I think is positive. So some of these movies are interesting. So yeah, I'm all for it. I thought this one was pretty good. I also watched, there's another one on YouTube. I don't know what the name was, but it was like highlighted in some Twitter post prior to the HBO one going out. And I think it came to back as the conclusion on that one. I kind of was watching that while I put my daughter to bed, and I fell asleep during it, but I'm pretty sure back was the one that it kind of landed on. So, I mean, between the two of them, to me, I mean, there's plausibility, but there's plausibility for, several people. So, I don't think we're any closer. I don't think it answered anything, but it was fun nonetheless to watch.
Was it bullish on Bitcoin? What's the feel? Are we getting more normies soon? Is this the next phase of the bull run?
It is bullish in the sense that it didn't create any panic. It wasn't believed. I mean, Satoshi being kind of known, I think, was considered maybe a bad thing for crypto. And so because no real conclusion was drawn out of it, I think generally speaking, it was probably a good thing. And then of course it's going to draw more attention to Bitcoin in general too. So, I think overall this was kind of cool. HBO doing a documentary, et cetera. People will watch it. There was a meme coin drawn off of it. What was it now? It was Your Mom, based on a tweet from
Sol. What is it?
Probably Sol, yeah. Based on a tweet from Peter Todd.
Your Mom,
yeah. I don't know how that one's doing. I know meme coins in general are continuing to roar, really based off of one individual and his kind of alpha. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with, I think it's Mossad, but he is basically a meme coin caller without having, let me just see, I'm just going to go to my follows here. He's been on a couple shows here, like Murad. So Must Stop Murad is the account. And so he's got this massive bag right now. of like roughly 25 million in meme coins. And he has a list of meme coins and a thesis, etc. And basically, he has been very successful. And then now, because of his success, everyone is just full on, buying into it. Zach XBT kind of doxed his wallets, and so now individuals copy trade him, etc. So this one, I think he's an obvious follow when it comes to meme coins. I don't think it's too crazy yet to follow some of the predictions that he's got. He kind of like self-propels the memes, right? Because
he's like Ansem before.
Well, exactly, and he's calling for these like ridiculous kind of market caps. And because he's been so successful, he's like basically self-propagating the results. And if you want to say, okay, like SPX is going over $1 billion, I think that's a pretty safe one. Like all of these, like if the coin's in his list, I think that's generally speaking kind of where you want to go. Maybe a mixed bag. Not all of them going to be successful. And of course, with meme coins, you've got to be hyper aware in the sense that these can dump pretty fast, especially if any of the wallets that have been doxed as being part of him start to move or sell coins. So SPX, Giga, he's got Popcat in there, Pepe. There's a tweet out there with his kind of list.
Basically.
Yeah, exactly, and they're all crushing it. But SPX, I think, is the real big winner. We talked about this one several times now, and saying that this one kind of feels like it's automatic to $1 billion. when I say something like that, obviously there's, it's just like anything else. It's kind of like a guess, but like it's based on the virality, etc. That kind of stuff. So, it's never a statement of like, hey, this is going to happen, but it's just like, hey, this seems like there's a good probability of it occurring, and that's something to be aware of. But yeah, he's done well. Some of the other ones that are interesting, basically there's kind of a collection there of phrases, I think that stand out. So like lock in. What's the other? Sigma. I'm not sure. Oh, selfie. Well, I don't know about that one, but Mog obviously kind of, I don't even know what gen we're in now, Gen Z, whatever. But basically phrases that they use, and as such, they're kind of ones that can stick, that kind of stuff. But it's an interesting list to follow and go in. I guess the other kind of angle on there is look for parallels to any of these tokens, and is there any kind of follow through on that? But when we collectively all get into one collection of coins, that becomes risky because it becomes a bit of a house of cards. So any kind of pullback.
That's kind of what everyone's just following this guy. It pumps it up, and then
yeah. So you have to be aware of that. It's kind of same with the Ansem kind of side of it. So one of his interesting analysis bits, which is kind of counterintuitive to a lot of aspects, is this kind of like almost like a sunk cost element where he's looking for less holders with a larger holding versus many holders, smaller holdings, because obviously the people that are smaller holders, et cetera, they're going to be more likely to cheat, that kind of stuff. He's looking for also like he almost wants to see holder growth go down. So there is a video. I have not seen it yet. I am kind of going off some additional information, kind of discourse around his conversation, but he did go on to FOMO Hour, and he has posted some of those videos. So I would watch that on YouTube. I will go ahead and watch that. I haven't had time yet here today, but 38 minutes with Farouk, I think that's going to be a must watch when it comes to meme coins and kind of his ideas and theses around it. So,
yeah, that's a very interesting way to look at it.
Yeah, he's kind of counterintuitive, right?
Right. You would
less holders, bigger holdings, that kind of stuff. What basically is my understanding is like you're building up these people that are really invested in it, and they're less likely to dump it. And when that becomes the case, then you get some stability in the token. And then, when it does start to take off, well, then it can really move. But then there's at least it's almost like this consolidation, right? It's a measure of consolidation and a measure of stability, which I think is important when it comes to meme coins, because, for me all along, it's been, let's stick to the established coins and play safe in the space, because the volatility can just completely wreck you. So you kind of have to, balance that out. I would still
What if there's
say
a way to look at this through like Dune or something?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to definitely try and pick out some of the, what is he going up with metrics, et cetera. And is there a way to kind of identify some of those metrics that stand out? But there's definitely going to be more around it. I only followed him I think over the weekend when I first kind of heard of him. He kind of exploded at token 2049. And so with that, it's kind of growing. That's really kind of where you've seen some of this meme coin, some of these successful runs is a lot off of what his portfolio has been, which is just wild that someone can have that much of an influence. But I guess if they understand the market and they've been successful at it, then, it helps simplify it all. So
yeah, we'll see how this plays out, but it's looking pretty good. I mean, do you think meme coins are back? Is that the move right now? Is it running back? It was kind of dead for a month.
Yeah, it had really slowed down. I think meme coins are back. They're probably in a strong kind of active wave here. So by all means, I think this is probably a time to strike, because most everything is in up only mode. But any sense of downward pressure, there could be a kind of a race for the exit. So there is some,
right. I mean, it seems like there's going to be downward pressure soon.
Yeah, the way crypto looks like, if it doesn't hold this level here and create a nice little double bottom there, then there is certainly a bit of risk for down action. Now, meme coins, at least on the higher end, they've kind of traded a little bit more independently of crypto in general, right? So, big sell-offs, et cetera, in Bitcoin and alts doesn't always reflect in meme coins, right? Because the individuals that have got their kind of sunk value into meme coins, they're kind of playing in a different environment, right? And it's similar to NFTs. Obviously, NFTs will reprice based on ETH value, but it's similar when it comes to that. And then even transitioning a little bit there has been some success in specific meme coins that are tied to meme coins, which I'm not exactly sure.
What do you mean, like NFTs tied to meme coin?
Yeah, so there's, for instance, Miladies. They're
running back.
I think they're going to run it back for sure. But Miladies, they're in the kind of the meme space. I think they're coming out with their own token. But then, like Retardio, and if you, for instance, sorry, thinking out loud, the Bitcoin meme token, that one was Proto Gremlins. Project Anon, they have basically, if they have a related meme coin, that NFT as well is kind of pumping with. So they have a meme coin and an NFT, and that's resulting in the NFTs at the moment kind of running and pumping a bit as well. So a bit of a meta there.
What's the Bitcoin meme coin situation?
The Bitcoin meme? I haven't checked that one in a while. It's been kind of quiet.
Actually, let's just go to alts first. I mean, ETH still looking sad. Solana falling, Bitcoin. I mean, I'm loaded up on cash on Coinbase, ready for these pullbacks. I think Sui is going to be a good buy relatively soon, couple days.
I think you're 100% correct in being loaded up. I think ultimately this is kind of your last opportunity, I think, before the election cycle, barring any kind of macroeconomic black swan. Obviously, that all goes without saying. But I think, if we can capture a bottom, if not, then we pull back a bit more. That's definitely the in before the rip kind of idea. So, yeah, Bitcoin pulling back a little bit more than ETH at the moment. ETH is in such a large range here. For me, it's still 2150 mark to hold still, I think is important. If I look at it here, they got a bit of a move from the early September range there on that dump down to 2150. You're almost looking at like a uptrend here. And so support right around that 21 or 2380, I think is maybe a spot that maybe it could find some support. Other than that, it's 2150. There's this large range for Ethereum that it's hanging out in. Almost a bit of a head and shoulders type thing going on in this last little month. I don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't. To be honest, I don't know if Head and Shoulders is like probably the most normie TA pattern, but I honestly don't see it play out that much.
Yeah, I feel like that it doesn't play out very often.
Yeah, exactly. Like you get a shoulder, you get a bit of a head, and that second shoulder just never ever materializes. So until it forms and until it starts to react on that formation, honestly, like I said, it's one of those patterns that never seem to really kind of roll out to that extent.
Can you believe we saw 4K Bitcoin in March? And we've just been bleeding out.
Right? And that's not even, what's the all-time high on Ethereum? 4,800?
Yeah, 5 almost.
Yeah. So yeah, the rally on the ETF was just so crazy. And then, I mean, when you think back on it, like the ETF, sure, it's going to bring in more investment in it, but the true value of Bitcoin is kind of its store of value kind of hedge element, right? Whereas Ethereum, it's just like you're buying to kind of almost diversify your crypto asset holding versus anything else, right?
That's the second. That's the second largest one.
Yeah, as the second largest one. But otherwise, if you're selling Bitcoin versus Ethereum, Bitcoin is going to be the easier sell 9 times out of 10, right? Just because of how simplistic it is and to kind of like describe and understand versus Ethereum, which is hyper complex, and then Solana is again easier to kind of explain because its key value proposition is pretty easy to describe as being more faster, more agile chain, lower fees kind of idea.
Right. Have you seen this chart, the BNB Binance chart? It's been rock solid.
Mm-hmm. It's been just nice sideways. Right. Aren't we expecting the Binance one to break out once
CZ
is out? I thought CZ was supposed to be out like almost any time.
I think he is out.
Is he out and hasn't pumped yet? I think it's been one of my alts on my list is
I think he's out.
Binance.
He's free.
On Friday? This last Friday?
2 Fridays ago.
2 Fridays ago.
What do you think he's been doing?
I don't know. I thought Binance's program showed up only once he got out. And I mean, is that 2 Fridays ago? Or was too
Yeah,
bright?
basically. I mean, it was up. I mean,
It rallied. It
seldom
rallied
used.
into the event, and then sold off a bit. Now, okay, makes sense.
Honestly, B&B might be a good buy at this point. You got some downside protection here, and it seems like it's just range bound.
Yeah,
Like really,
if
like
you
there's not
can-
even decay on this. Like not even the like if you look at Bitcoin, there's like a decline, right? B&B is just here. It's just at this level.
And if it breaks at 600, it's cooking.
Right? It's like the most stable crypto,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of crazy.
Bit of weakness in Solana. I know we kind of went through, but it's, maybe this 140 range is a spot of holding again off this kind of recent trend back to September 8th. You could kind of look at a support trend off there, but like, you're picking at straws a little bit there. But a bounce around here, bounce around where Bitcoin is at. Like there's a degree of confluence in there that, we could pull back, a couple $100 more on Bitcoin, a few $100 more on Bitcoin, and then continue up. So watch for that, or it could, like I said, form that quick double bottom. But yeah, look for Bitcoin on this quick double bottom.
Yeah, it's gonna be
It's a
very
possibility.
pivotal
Mhm.
these today and tomorrow. Going to decide a lot, I think.
Yeah.
Where's the next point of resistance here? Like 58, 57?
For Bitcoin, 59.
Yeah, 59 has some.
No.
I'd probably say down here,
Yeah,
57.
I have 57.3. So fairly large range between 57.3 and 61.7, but there's just really, that's that tight range we've been kind of moving in between for the last few months. So 57.3, you want to support there. If you break that, then it goes all the way back down to 53, 52.
I'm considering getting in some SUI at this point due to, I mean, just looking at this Bitcoin chart, there could be a reversal here. Might be a good entry to snag a bottom. There is some risk that it just continues to fall. So not sure where I stand on this.
Yeah, you want to see the bounce before you pick in there. If it
No, you don't. I don't think I can perfectly time the bottom here.
No, I don't think so. I mean, you could try, but and then as you look at SUI, SUI looks super strong still.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It challenged all-time highs recently. Is that right?
I think it was. Yeah, I think so. Very close, actually.
Yeah, it was just challenging all-time highs. I think from Monday, it was right in that range.
2.18, and this one is 2.16. So yeah.
So we didn't cross it. We kind of have a bit of a double top kind of scenario there. But I mean, still short term, it's showing a really strong uptrend there. So
right. Yeah, I mean, I think if Bitcoin bounces here going up, SUI is definitely going to hit all-time highs.
Yeah, if it doesn't and it pulls back, then SUI could.
Yeah, I mean, SUI's been super volatile recently. You're seeing like 15%, 20% days.
Yeah. Yes.
Right. You're getting those Coinbase notifications, like SUI top mover.
Yeah.
In the last 24 hours.
It's down 6% today, so it's kind of the top decliner right now.
Yeah.
Aptos 6.5%. Rune 7.8%. So quite a lot of down pressure on alts. I think Bitcoin always drives the bus when that goes. But once Bitcoin starts pulling back, all the alts will move faster, right? Just a little bit more volatile.
Right. Yeah. Anything else you're looking to get into? Are you still buying in? Are you holding cash? What's your game plan here for the next week?
I mean, it feels like it's the time to be buying in. Or pullback. So, and that hasn't happened, right? So throughout September, wanting one more pullback before running into the election. So, like you, I am watching very closely on this Bitcoin action to what makes sense, because being within this range, you hold on, but in the terms of adding any more, I want to see kind of a range separation to really ideally that's like you break that upper range, the upper blue line you have there, which I have coming down maybe a bit more, so my crosses for me a bit quicker, but I think both of those lines probably work. When you get across there and you're pushing back towards all-time high, then that's your absolute okay, that's when you pile in kind of thing, because you then are confirming that you've broken out. If you want to try,
you have to be ready. You have to have cash in Coinbase.
Right. Well, and that's the thing is Bitcoin, when it does make those moves pretty fast. I think ideally you're looking to see the next couple of days, if we hold this level, and if you do, and we get back into this backup mode, I think that's an excellent entry. Otherwise, if you can get another larger pullback, again, I think that's a really good entry. Obviously, it's a better entry. Wait for it to hit one of the levels and move off of it. I'm not trying to catch the bottom, especially when it's only it's not a ton of range. Want to see it go down and then start to get that move back up.
Are you buying Bitcoin? Are you buying alts? What's your next entry here?
I'm most interested in meme coins, actually.
In meme coins
over alts. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
So
are you looking for new ones, old ones?
SPX on the new one side of things, I think it fits so well for whatever reason, and maybe it's fitting so well right now because we're just rocketing. But I think it's a good meme. It fits what meme coins are, right? It's just along the same lines of Wall Street bets and all that kind of stuff, right? So, that chart is wild,
crazy,
just wild. From September 10th at nothing,
just day after day of
14 mil, and now it's gone up 400%.
I'd be kind of scared to buy into this.
Murad had 300,000 worth at 14 mil. His bag is worth 25 mil now on SPX. Now,
if he dumps, it's over.
Yeah, he can't. He's locked in. But 500 mil here. I think
this is a crazy chart to buy into. There's not even any pullback to buy. You're just buying the top at every single point.
You are buying the top at any single point. And your pullback from current levels, you're going back down 350, right? Roughly 350, 300, 330 in that range, before you go back up. But kill the chart. The chart can't handle that much up.
It's too much up. They're how do you render this much up?
So when you look at that
pullback right here,
That's a
you
good pullback.
instantly
actually.
lose half.
That's the pullback you kind of wanted, right? And I went to what, 350. So that's a nice pullback. How come we didn't see that on the daily? Was it a candle there like that? I guess it would have been. It's just because that daily is straight up, it doesn't look the same way. But that's exactly what you wanted. Now you're going back up. It's just on the daily because it's been cruising so hard.
Oh, this chart's crazy.
It is. But look for it to challenge a bill, but you sell before a bill kind of thing. And then you're looking at a smaller allocation with something this volatile.
Should we just buy it now then? Are you waiting for a pullback?
I think we had our pullback.
Right. So shouldn't you buy it now?
Yeah.
This would be the breakout.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that's kind of scary. Not gonna lie. I don't know. Going back to Bitcoin, I think if it bounces here, we're gonna see this break for sure.
I think so too.
I think the bounce here is like 50-50.
Yeah. Like for whatever reason today feels like a Friday. Thank goodness it isn't, because I think if it was a Friday, it'd be. I think there's more chance of it going down. I think there's more chance of Middle East activity, whatever kind of scenario. We seem to get some kind of wild activity sometime. I don't know. I don't know, when do we get our dumps usually? Is it weekend, Friday kind of thing? If we were to look at some of those. I mean, Tuesday. Monday, Tuesday have been very volatile kind of pivot points.
Weekends.
But do we see any kind of like
Monday, Tuesday, Friday, weekend?
Yeah. I gotta say.
So definitely a pump, definitely bouncing off here since it's a Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
And then hopefully nothing happens over the weekend and we just have a quiet weekend. And then Monday, Tuesday just explodes. I think that's the plan.
Yep. That's the up plan.
Yeah, I'll think about buying some SUI later today. We'll see how this plays out, but that's kind of my trade right now. Just buying some long-term stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, SUI, ETH, Solana, Bitcoin. Those are your kind of ideal mixed bag right now on majors. SUI just being so hot that
SUI to 30 for sure. Yeah.
SUI's market cap's already what? Are they 10th now?
Yeah, they're pretty big. $20.
Okay, so they got
almost $1 billion, or
they're $5 billion.
Yeah, $5 billion.
TON is $12 billion. Cap, being in that same range doesn't seem at all crazy.
Bitcoin Cash being $6 billion is crazy.
Right? I still got wallets with Bitcoin Cash.
Yeah, we just need the thesis is SUI is going to be like a top 10,
exactly.
top 7 coin.
It being a top 10 coin isn't at all, it being a winner out of the cycle isn't at all crazy.
Yeah, so we're top 10. We're probably seeing like $6, $7, $8 per coin. Mm-hmm. That's what we're looking at for SUI. With the Bitcoin going up and then everything else going up and then SUI surpassing it, like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 probably.
You're gonna want to play SUI as not a short-term hold though.
No, I'm buying long term right now.
There's some downside with SUI given the heater it's been on, but I think it feels super clear right now with SUI.
I think there's multiple coins right now that are that are going to try to be those coins, right? It's Kasui, it's going to be Avalanche, it's going to be Tron. Tron's already up here, but
Binance.
Binance already up here as well.
I know, but it's
It's
doing
gonna.
well.
I think Binance is. If Binance can surpass Ethereum, that would be crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it would be crazy. I don't think it ever could happen.
No, you don't think Binance with their smart contracts, people moving over,
I mean,
more support from the Binance team?
yeah.
I don't think any institutions are building on Binance. I think that's the problem.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, it seems like it's too centralized.
He's got a long ways to go to pass ETH anyways.
Right.
Who passes who? Or who's higher, Solana or Binance? End of year.
End of year. Like, you would think Solana's going to pass it, right? All the meme activity, but, like, dude, let me show you this chart again. Look at this chart. It's rock solid.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at Solana, like,
it's not rock solid.
It's just Jeters, I guess. It's just the Solana Jeters, you know.
Solana looks like it's going to go back to 120 right now, right?
Right? Like, there's just no, I think there's no, like, holding power. There's no stickiness on Solana. But look at Binance. Like, people are here. Like, all these dips are bought up.
Yeah, and that one dip was when CZ got arrested, right?
Right. It's just bought up within the month. Bought up.
Mm-hmm.
Gone. Back to normal. Back to normal times. And then you look at Solana. It's just, I mean, it's the. I think this chart pattern is pretty normal for crypto, but this chart pattern is like one of a kind. There has to be something going on here. Right? There has to be some mandate. Let's keep the average at 570, 600. Right? 550 plus.
Yeah.
Because there's just no decline in this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even
it's a tight range. It's like this 10% range that it's mostly kind of been in.
It's all the market makers. All the market makers are on BNB right now. This is on ETH too. ETH meme coins are sticky. They're very sticky.
100%. ETH meme coins, I think, are going to be the major winners. You're going to see the majority of the successful ones come out of ETH. Just so far, we've seen all of the real runners, the real market caps be on ETH. So that's interesting. I think maybe it's a different type of trader per se. You know, we go back to Solana.
People with like they're doing one.
There's no friction to move in and out on Solana, and there's always another kind of ticker, something else to chase. Yeah. Whereas Ethereum, there's just like there's less action, bigger. You need to come in with more size, etc. So
you got the big boy ETH with the one ETH buys instead of the one SOL buys.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently this one I saw someone calling this at one of the chats, and then it got rugged.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's an ad. This one's definitely
Fox.
paid for ad situation. But interesting. What else do you want to look at right now? Meme coins, Polymarket. What else do we want to look at here?
Let's do a little Polymarket. I'm not too sure what we got going on. Our big event came and went with the HBO doc. One thing that's interesting is a lot of these political markets now are they're within a month, right? That's an interesting one.
No, wait. What is Milton right now?
I thought Milton was 5.
Yeah, the people said like this is the craziest storm ever
Oh.
to live.
Weakens to category 4. It's supposed to be making landfall, isn't it? Supposed to be doing it like at any point now? Oh, so expected to go to 3? Milton's as volatile as crypto. It was a 1, it ripped up to 5, and now it's slowing down pretty fast down to 3. So
it's the hurricane jitters.
That's good. It's good to see that it's toning down at least.
Yeah, people were freaking out.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, geez, it was coming in super hot and coming right at Tampa, which is pretty wild. But now that's kind of toned down a bit. That's better to hear. Like, what was it? Storm surges they're expecting, like, was it 12 feet or something like that? Like, that's just, or 15 feet, I think, which is crazy.
Wasn't that bad last year, was it?
No, but the waters around in that area have been warmer
Extremely
than normal.
hot.
Yeah, so then that's going to generate a pretty aggressive season. Yeah. So what were the levels on that poly market?
3 no. So they're thinking it's going to decline even further.
So it could hit 2% or hit 2 or less.
I don't think it's going to hit 2 or less. Not for how hard they're hyping up Milton. Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern. So it's going to be like now, basically.
Yeah.
Or like in an hour or 2.
Okay, so it's very likely to come in at 3. Is 2.5 considered 2? Do they round up on this, or
2.5 is considered 3? I don't think they do 2.5. Do they?
no? I don't know what their categorizations levels are. Sustained winds 125 to be a 3.
Yeah, apparently like scientists were crying about how strong this thing was. So
Yeah.
they definitely overhyped it. That's a crazy one. Is there
74%. What's the return?
What? It's 32%. If you want the decimal.
Mm-hmm. It's not a terrible. You want to side with the most likely there?
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna get any stronger. So I don't know. Did you put money into Polymarket yet?
I didn't. I was actively watching the football game. The market went up. I think it was about a 50% gain from when Saints got a touchdown and made the game closer. But what I wanted to see is the kind of how Polymarket reacted live game. I think trading an actual game is maybe a little too wild to get into and do. But some of these like more obvious bets as they line up. So like, for instance, I still love your popular vote one. I think, you come in with Kamala on the popular vote, you make yourself
even better odds now.
Yeah, you make yourself a nice, 35% there. And then you rotate out of that into, NFL at that point, because your NFL season's shortening up a fair bit by then. And so, yeah, there's probably a direction to play that. So NBA. They don't have NHL in here, do they?
I think they do.
Do they? I mean, NHL season's long, and NBA season's pretty long too. Oh, they do.
They don't have the. Oh, they do have Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Edmonton,
You're the
Florida.
NHL expert here.
I'm just looking at. Is there any?
The
obvious-
Sharks are gonna win it for sure. Where are my boys at?
Chicago
Yeah,
at
good
1%.
shot.
Chicago at 1% isn't. I don't know if it moves up, but like Chicago's a team that could surprise a bit.
Chicago, not the Sharks. Is that any bias there?
No. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like for them to get to 2% feels like a reach because they're never going to win the Stanley Cup. It's just never happening. No matter how good these young rookies are for San Jose or Chicago are, there's it's kind of like a lost bet no matter what. What you want to do is be trading teams that you think can move up in the standings or buying one of these teams that are at the top right now a month and a half into the season if they started slow. If you bought Edmonton last year after they had a slow start, that's pure profit, right?
Who won last year?
Florida did. Florida and Edmonton are coming back as two of the better teams again. So they belong. Florida was dominant last night, apparently, from what I had read, against Boston, which is, a pretty decent team. But I think the overall rankings that they have here are pretty fair.
What you want to do is get a team that would at least get it to like quarterfinals.
Yeah. That's a risk with Edmonton. I think Edmonton, Vancouver, they're in a nasty collision course. Both teams are two of the better teams in the league. But that's what hammers Vancouver. So yeah, you look for a team that has an easier path.
How the tournament stacks up.
Mm-hmm.
Buying opportunity. Any other NHL bets?
It's just the games.
But there's no volume on these.
No, there's going to be no volume. No one's betting NHL. No one's betting NHL. There's probably no volume on who's going to win the Stanley Cup.
7, 8K. Yeah, that's not that much.
NFL, I think, is where you go.
NFL
election, NFL, those are your two major kind of bet cycles.
These are look at these graphics.
Yeah, they've gotten way better. I like the fact that they got these pages. Oh, first coach, Robert Saylor too. I mean, that could have been predictable. Offensive Rookie of the Year, I think that one's foregone. MVP, Jaden Daniels as the MVP gets interesting.
Jaden Daniels at MVP.
Yeah, I don't know
he that
how
good?
He had started historically. Is he even on this list? Where is he?
No. Other?
Oh, I guess so, yeah.
I think it's all quarterbacks in Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill's not doing it. CeeDee Lamb's on there. The fact that Patrick Mahomes is so high is super ridiculous.
Why?
Because he hasn't played well. But the team is 5-0, so then you look at it. Come on, wait.
They are 5-0.
Yeah.
Yeah, no value there for sure. Let's see. You watch baseball?
I do not.
Let's see.
Not even during the playoffs.
That's good. That's a good move.
Yeah. fantasy wide receiver, Chase.
Yeah, I wonder how my bets are looking. Let me log in real quick. What do you think about this buying opportunity now? Let's see. Am I up or down today? I think my NFL bets are still pretty strong.
Yeah, Chiefs are obviously up a fair bit, which is crazy considering
Oh,
their
no.
injuries. But at the same time, it feels like they play better the more
Did my
adversity
thing
they
just
face.
crash? Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I feel like my computer just crashed.
It's tripping out right now.
Right? Let
Yeah.
me stop sharing for a second.
I like your 4 picks, though. I think those are legit. Kind of the 4 you want. Minnesota is probably another one that you may want to consider.
Yeah, I mean, this used to be higher, the Ravens, and then I don't know, the 49ers kind of trolling me right now.
Yeah, 49ers are, but they have done it in the past too. They had a slump last year. They've had a slump the last few years where they just suddenly don't play well, and then they get out of it. CMC looks like he's likely back soon, so they're getting healthy on offense. I don't know the status of the defense. I don't follow defense, but they should sort it out and be quite all right.
Yeah. Lions could pick. I mean, all these are so like cheap. It's kind of the move.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you expect every one of those, for the most part, to 2x, making playoffs, etc.
Right.
Yeah. And so the rotation, maybe you do that and the NFL teams. Because I was thinking, like, can you rotate from the election on a simple popular vote bet and then move into the NFL? But by that time, a month down the road, your NFL
I don't think it
should.
changes anything.
It's gonna. Really. You don't think the top teams are going to move up more? It's going to start to separate more.
Maybe you might lose. I mean, a couple cents here is a lot, right?
We're 5 games into the season and it hasn't changed that much.
Let me see. Am I still not sharing my screen? My streamer is freaking out right now. I mean, looking at these numbers, it's a couple cents is a lot. So that's kind of why I'm worried as well. Hello?
Yep.
I literally cannot see my StreamYards.
You got nothing up at the moment.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, my screen is like black.
We are at an hour, so we could.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good time to stop. Actually, some crazy things about meme coins. Been hearing some rumblings about a meme coin coming up either this week or next week. So, be posting that in the Discord and Telegram. I think. I mean, it's just a thing building up right now. Been connected with the team, so I'm gonna be posting that when it launches. We'll get in probably, I don't know, sub 100K.
Yep.
And have it run. So I think that's what's cooking on my end. Was going to launch today actually, but they've been pushing it back for some other reasons.
Sooner the better right now in this market.
Yeah, but
especially
I think next week is going to be there's be some movement, and then there's gonna try to be the best in a specific situation. Some updates for sure.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm just looking at SPX right now and trying to figure out, maybe you get as low as 480 mil market cap, and then it rallies from there. But yeah, this range is pretty good for it, I think.
Am I sharing it? I think I figured it out. Can you see my screen?
I cannot see your screen. No.
Well,
It's broken. All right, sounds good. We will catch you.
Make sure to follow us on Twitter. Best ways is Discord and Telegram for us. But yeah, look forward to the post on the new meme coin. I think it's been hinted at in a couple of the alpha chats. I'm also in, but we'll get the beast in pretty early, and that's the plan.
Perfect. I love it.
Yeah. Well, see you guys. Appreciate it.
All right.